Hey guys, welcome to Barrel Exhaust. Today we have something really interesting. We have Joe, who's come all the way from Malaysia. He's from Kratos Suspension Tuning from Joe Superbike, Malaysia. So we're here to, he's here to, tune this bike suspension. Not just this, but a lot of this. This is the first one, which is the the S1000 RR. uh, well, we all know that we've been riding, super bikes. We know that there are suspension adjustments, but do we know really why we need to do that adjustment? Why it should be hard? Why it should be soft? Where it should be hard? We don't know that. So that is exactly what we're going to be talking to Joe. He's the expert, and he's been, kind of tuning this suspension for a lot of super bikers on the racetracks in Malaysia. And not taking much more time, I'm just going to ask him. First of all, Joe, welcome to Barrel Exhaust. Welcome to India. You've come all the way from Malaysia, so we wanted to actually. We're very happy for that. And now there are a lot of bikers in our, so many of our Superbike customers. They also go in for track days and stuff like that. So first question: why is it that we need this suspension tuning? Because most of them who think that they've got a Superbike from the store, they just can kind of ride it on the track because they're all track machines kind of thing.
Right.
So can you just tell us why do we need this?
Okay. Before I begin, I would like to say thank you to yourself, Giri, and also to Barrel Exhaust for inviting us to come here and to share our experience. And straight diving into the question, why do we need tuning? So these super bikes, when they come off the factory, they come in a standard format. That means the standard tuning, which the factory gives, irrespective of whoever buys it. So whether you may be 6'4" or you may be 5'6", maybe you weigh 140 kilos or maybe you weigh 60 kilos. The bike doesn't know this.
Okay.
So they give you a standard tuning, and what we do is when you get the standard tuning, then it is up to the rider who then fits the bike to himself. And this is where the tuning of the suspension happens.
Okay.
And sometimes we need to do the tuning because the bike has been taken out of tune or out of alignment. This is due to some simple things like common servicing schedules. You take off the forks, you put back the forks on, the tuning goes off. Just like when you change your car tires, you will do two other extra things, which is one, balancing of the wheel, and also the alignment. of the wheels. So these two things are very similar to the concept, or is analogous to what we're talking about in suspension tuning. So irrespective of what car, irrespective of what tires you use, every time you do some change, you will do the tuning and the balancing as well. So that's why the tuning comes in. And the only thing is that these tunings have differed over the time, and it's become more readily accessible, especially to the bikes that we get now. As you can see, most of the bikes are already fitted with tunable suspension. There are adjusters on the front, there are adjusters at the rear. So that is why we do the tuning, to get the bike back to an equilibrium, so that it is comfortable for the riders to use and ride according to their needs.
Yeah, so just after listening to you, I can actually come up with another scenario. See, there's a lot of the so-called self acclaimed mechanics who actually have not been working on the racetrack machines, but they just kind of do some kind of tweaking because there is an option available. And if the rider comes and tells me it's like a little hard in the front for me, they kind of adjust it to make it softer, or they do the same thing on the rear. But it actually is very important to also know why you need to do. It may be hard, but probably for better grip you may need hard. For better cornering you may need, because the tire has to stick to the tarmac or whenever you're cornering and stuff like that. So that is something that many people do without having a knowledge of why they are doing things. So let's actually understand from Joe as to what time. Joe, I have this question. Normally it's the normal thing that people say that you need it to be soft in the off-road and hard in the tarmac. So is this like very common, that is this exactly how it should be? Like, just make it soft for the off-road and then hard for the tarmac. That's all the rule is?
Generally speaking, that is actually quite accurate.
Okay.
Because in soft road, on off-road, you have many bumps, many undulations, and the suspension needs to do more work. That's why you notice that most off-road bikes, the suspension is longer. You got
Yeah,
longer
travel is
forks.
longer.
There's more travel so that you can absorb more because the road is giving you more feedback. Whereas on the tarmac, you want to have the tarmac is mostly smooth, especially on the racetrack. It's absolutely very nicely maintained.
Yeah.
So the rider now needs to make sure that he gets the maximum grip
Yeah, contact.
from contact patch for his bike, and that requires less movement but a more stiffer suspension because the power delivery is very fast and these engines really are powerful and they produce a lot of torque and horsepower. So that needs to be translated to the tires, and that's why the suspension is there to make sure the tire gets the correct contact patch.
Okay.
So it's not that about.
But then there is also, sorry to cut you, but there is also something like how hard or how soft. But that comes with an experience of seeing these bikes on, performing on the racetrack. It actually can, like yesterday when we were talking, you were telling me that there could be a bike which is more powerful than my bike, but if I have a better suspension, I'll not be able to beat him on the straight stretches, but at the corners, I'm always going to be better than him.
Yes.
Right. So that actually determines how much soft, how much hard, where it should be, and also there is a balance, if I'm not wrong, that you can't be hard on one side and soft on another. I mean, like the two forks, especially. I'm telling you, those things also should be matching, right?
Correct.
So that is something where everybody goes wrong. They're like, that was my intention when I asked you a previous question, that people make it soft, but how soft, how much you need, based, like you were telling, right? The weight of the rider, the power, how much ever, where it's going to be ridden. So and those things determine. So how do you actually figure that out? You look at the rider, the purpose of the ring, and then do it, or how do you?
So for the average rider out there, there are so many factors that come into the suspension portion of it. There is the rider weight, the rider skill level. There's also how the track is being laid out. I mean, is it an off-road track, or is it an on-road track, or is it a normal daily road track that you travel daily to work? All these play a factor in how soft and how hard it is. Of course, like you said, is very true. You can't have both worlds. You can't have a soft suspension which is soft to hit potholes, at the same time want to make it perform at the track. Because to be able to hit soft potholes, you need to absorb so much. And in the track, when you give the power, that same suspension will be absorbing all your energy and not giving you the traction that you need. At the same time, if you take a track bike, which is designed to put maximum power right to the tire and to give you that traction for you to move forward, that same direct transfer of power will translate to when you hit a pothole, that direct impact will also be transferred to the rider.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you're going to have juddering and maybe your teeth may fall off. So, I mean, that's a bit extreme, but that's the feeling that you get. So, in the sense that to give a sort of a guide, a simple guide, this one you can maybe have it as a takeaway. If you sit on the suspension and it moves too much, and you're finding that you have to make some adjustment, you yourself have to make some adjustment, then your suspension is too soft.
Okay.
And if you're sitting on a bike and the suspension doesn't move at all, or it's not moving at all, and you feel the hits either in your back or your backbone, or you feel it juddering in your hand, then you know the suspension is too hard.
Okay.
So that actually has a natural feel. Riding is a natural activity. So if you listen to what the bike is telling you, and you can feel that the suspension will tell you whether it's too hard or too soft. When the bike is in correct equilibrium or tuned to the rider doesn't think of the bike. He just thinks of the ride.
Okay. Yeah. So this is very important to know that bike should feel like an extension of ourselves. So if that's exactly when you have that harmonious kind of transition in terms of taking the corners, hitting the apex and stuff like that. So like yesterday, Joe was also very when we had a discussion, we were actually talking about like the corners versus the straight stretches where the horsepower can beat it and stuff like that. What I actually felt was really, it actually triggered to me. I saw a particular race where every time there is a straight stretch, there's somebody who's hitting kind of overtaking the guy, but actually this probably, and the corners, the skill, it's not just a thing but also the skill of the rider but I think it also complements that. If you have a very good motorcycle which is tuned in terms of balance, basically these provide you balance at all angles. So if you have that, then you're bound to really be safe and not just for racers, it's even for the daily users. Whoever has a powerful motorcycle which has the capacity to one wrong move, it can kill you. So this is a safety part. So suspension, tires, brakes, right? These are the three
Exactly.
things that you. So having a powerful motorcycle with these three things not in tune is a really deadly combination to have. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions that is coming up from viewers. They're going to be can actually comment it down.
Sure.
We'll have Joe respond to you on those things. This is and shortly we will be tuning this, and we will be putting up a video where how this is done, and why we are doing this, why Joe is doing this, a little bit of explanation. So stay tuned to a much more informative content, and hopefully we will see him travel more to India and to Barrel Exhaust, and much more superbikes are going to be getting tuned, and more superbikes are going to be safe on the road. Not just fast, but it is also important to be safe so you come back and ride again. So thank you so much, Joe, for your time and coming all the way. We're going to be doing a lot more content, lot more. We're going to be making more superbikes safe here.
Right.
That's it for now. To do follow this channel, we will put in links for the other videos as well, where it is more informative, and we get it done not by any person who just says that he can turn the screw, but it's from an expert who's been spending decades on the racetracks in Malaysia. A lot of motorcycles have been tuned. I think about 5,000 plus.
On and off-road,
Yeah,
yes,
so on and off road, close to 5,000 plus motorcycles have been tuned by Joe's Superbike Center.
Yeah, and we're bringing track technology or track tuning,
Yeah.
make it available for the street riders.
Exactly. So that's a great thing. Let's get on to the tuning of this, and more content for people to
For
watch.
sure. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you for watching this. Bye bye.